21st of 2011, I headed to what became one of the most important interviews of my life. I remember the exact date because it was my birthday. I was headed to the South Korean embassy in my country because I was applying to a full scholarship to study my master's degree here in Pusan. The previous weeks to that, I spent all my time studying about your history, your economic growth, even about K-pop and K-drama, because I thought that's what I needed to prove that I wanted this scholarship so much. But I was wrong. The South Korean ambassador only asked me to introduce myself in English, and then as he was turning to the second page of my resume, he started asking, Isabella, why do you volunteer so much? Why do you like doing this? What have you learned from this? I didn't understand why he was asking me these questions, and why wasn't he focusing more on my academic records? But I knew that I didn't need any preparation to start talking about what I like doing most. Because who doesn't like to talk about their passion? I know I do. And when I do, I even shake a little. So if I start shaking, do not get scared. It's just that I'm too enthusiastic about talking about what I'm going to talk about next. You see, when we start writing our resume, we're supposed to write our personal information that is not so personal. Let me give you an example. A short version of my resume would look sort of like this. My name is Isabella Arevalo. I was born and raised in Honduras. I got a bachelor's degree in international relations and political science, and now I'm doing my master's in Pusan National University. Does that tell you who I am? Does it? No, it doesn't. Am I any of those diplomas? Am I any of those scores? Am I any of those tests that I have to take in order to apply for a job? No. I discovered my passion. No, wait. In order for me to talk to you about who I am, I need to start talking to you about my passion. I discovered my passion on February of 2003. I assisted to a mission of Operation Smile. Operation Smile is an organization that provides free surgeries to kids that have cleft lip and cleft palate and other facial deformities. I was in this mission for exactly 10 days. And some days I would spend it playing with kids that made toys out of juice boxes. Other days I was translating between doctors, nurses, and children. Other days I was a clown, in this case Piglet. And some days I was lucky enough to go inside the room where the magic happened, where the surgeons closed the holes on the children's cleft and lip. Like in this image, where it's a bunch of my friends in the post-op room. But the most important thing happened right after. When I was able to reunite a mother with her child, and I was able to see her face when she saw her child's first smile. That is how you change lives one smile at a time. And I knew that I wanted to keep doing what I was doing in that moment. I wanted more, I needed more. So as the year passed on, I got involved as many volunteer experiences as I could. Now I'm going to take you to the other side of the world. I come from a small country in the center of the American continent. It is called Honduras. In Korean, this is Honduras. And in case you like soccer, you've probably heard about my country. In 2009, the lives of 8 million Hondurans were changed when we had a coup. On June 28th, our country was politically divided. I'm not going to get into the reasons why it happened, but I can tell you the consequences of this. Either you were with the coup or against the coup. Either you were with the whites or with the reds. But there was no in between. In 2011, I joined the JCI, which stands for Junior Chamber International. And in this organization, I met other people who were as passionate as I was. But some were passionate in politics, other in journalism, marketing, a whole different backgrounds, but we all shared one thing in common. We had love and passion for our country. So we were determined determined to create something that would make an impact and would remind the Hondurans the beautiful country that we live in. That is when one of the members of our groups came up with the idea of replicating the contest of the 7 wonders of the world. We were ambitious. We had thirst to show Honduras and the world that we had proof that we were more than just a politically divided country. And this is how the idea of the 30 Wonders of Honduras project was born. In this image, what it says in Spanish is 30 Maravillas de Honduras. We had a white piece of board, 5 members, absolutely no money in our account, but we knew that we wanted to go big. We wanted to go national. So we started searching for sponsors. And a few door knocks later, we found ourselves in the office of the President of the National Congress. A few meetings later, he offered us $37,000 US in sponsorship. On May of 2011, we presented our project on national television, next to the President of the Congress, other congressmen, and even Secretary of State. In this image, you can see in the middle the President of the National Congress, other secretaries and congressmen, and the President of our group. We divided our project in 3 stages. The first one was nomination, the second one was selection, and the third one was awarding. So in the first stage of nomination, we got 1,200 nominations of possible wonders of our country. From those 1,200 nominations, we were supposed to choose 30. Because that's how diverse and beautiful our country is. During the whole process, we were mentioned daily on the biggest newspapers in our country. We were mentioned in the national magazines, and we had to go on a daily basis to radio shows and TV shows as well. On the second stage, which was selection, we enabled a voting mechanism through the internet and your cell phone. As a result, we got 1 million votes. This is something big for us because a country with 8 million people, only 1 million have access to internet. Do you understand how big this was for us? As we were getting more exposure, we got one phone call. We were invited to participate in a dialogue with the youth sector and the president of the country. We never expected to get this far in such short months. We found ourselves in the presidential house with other youth groups that were there to ask the president, please change your current situation because we're not happy. But we had a different agenda. We were there to show him what we were capable of doing in order to change that. We were not going to wait around and wait for others to make that change. This is a picture of a few of our groups with the previous president, Porfirio Lobo Sosa. We were a group of people that were determined to make the change happen. When you're fueled by passion, you don't take no for an answer. If you have to swim oceans, if you have to climb mountains, you do that in order to achieve your goal. On September of 2011, we presented the world with the 30 Wonders of Honduras. Let me show you a few pictures of the places that you're missing for not being on the other side of the world. You see, my biggest accomplishments and opportunities have happened outside classrooms and office. That's when I understood why the South Korean ambassador was not interested in my academic records. He wanted to know who I am and what I could bring to this beautiful country of yours. Grades and diplomas don't define us. Yes, they're important, but they're not the only road to success. One thing that I have learned by living in South Korea is that with enough dedication, anyone can get good scores. But it takes a lot of courage to leave everything aside and start following your passion. Mark Twain said, "The two most important days of your lives are the day that you were born and the day that you find out why." So if my resume could reflect who I am, it would probably say the following. Operation Smile taught me that you don't have to be a surgeon in order to change somebody else's life. I am sorry if there's any doctor here, but children remember the silly students that spent time with them before the surgery trying to make them forget about their hunger, and after surgery when we were trying to make them forget about their pain. By bringing aid to the poor local communities in my country, I learned the importance of having a good health system, which is something that we lack of. It also showed me that education can happen on the field, like on coffee fields, and that there's life without electricity, something that we don't know here in South Korea. Also, by spreading awareness of HIV/AIDS, I learned how prejudice and taboo are hurtful. Even though we're discriminating people that live with the virus itself is not discriminating. It taught me how to appreciate my body and how to take proper care of it. I also work with children that live on the streets, and by bringing them food during night times, I was able to see the importance of sharing that you still have. Not the things that we have more of or we don't want, but the things that we need as well. Because even if we share what we have in that moment, you can be improving somebody else's life with just that. I am not here, well, this is just a few examples of the things that I have been doing, but I'm not here to brag about myself or talk about myself. I'm here to just give you an example of what you can do by following your passion and making your dreams come true. Hopefully, next time that I come to a TEDx event, we're going to switch places. And I'm going to be sitting where you are right now, and you're going to be standing here, and you're going to be telling us, the presenters of today, how you've been changing your life by following your passion and doing exactly what you love. So please, next time when you introduce your friends, remember who they are, and forget the fancy titles of lawyer, scientist, and introduce them for who they are. For example, you can say, this is Monica, and she rescues dogs from the street. This is Michelle, and she reads 50 books a year. This is Juno, and he's in a relationship with parasites. Yes. We are just presenters here that are not different from you guys. We have a passion. We're here to talk to you about that, who we are, what we do, why we do it, and what have we learned through all this process. So ladies and gentlemen, it is time for you to wake up and start to become your own hero. 너무 감사합니다. Thank you.